You're watching Culture Express on CCTV News. Now, the remains of the longest Viking ship ever found have gone on display in the Danish capital, Copenhagen. The wreck is the centerpiece of an exhibition about the Viking Empire from 1,000 years ago. It also aims to show that the conquering warriors of the north were well versed in practicing power politics. From Copenhagen, Malcolm Burband reports.
Only 20% of the wooden spars of this longboat were recovered, and so visitors have to imagine what it would have looked like 1,000 years ago as it sailed the Baltic and North Seas, expanding the Viking Empire.
I think this would have belonged to someone very high up in society, possibly the king, because it is a warship. The long, slender proportions indicate that it is a warship, and we know that it travelled.
If you saw this ship coming, you would be terrified, because this ship would not come alone. In first place, it would come with 100 men, armed men, and it would come with maybe 50, 60, 70 more ships in the same size.
Viking mariners, they were far more sophisticated than you would have thought just, decades, a century ago. They really knew how to maneuver their ships. They knew how to travel far on great distances.
This replica from Denmark's Viking Museum in the town of Roskilde is slightly smaller than the wreck on display in Copenhagen. With a favourable wind, it can reach speeds of 15 knots, which has enabled it to sail from Denmark to Norway in 36 hours.
There's a common perception that the Vikings were nothing more than bloodthirsty warlords, rampaging across northern Europe, raping and pillaging. But according to recent research, the Vikings were much more than that. They were ambitious politicians and adept at forging alliances.
This longboat, the Sea Stallion, has proved its seaworthiness by sailing from Denmark to Ireland around the north coast of Scotland in extremely difficult conditions. Despite the discomfort on board, berths are in great demand from Danish weekend sailors keen to relive their ancestors' heritage. Malcolm Brabant, CCTV, Denmark.